Jesus, light of the world, let our light shine. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. You may take your seats. Good afternoon once again, dear parents, and thank you for coming to our orientation this Saturday afternoon. So on the screen, you will see our more or less the schedule for this afternoon, although we should be a little flexible. So in case we end early, if we need to, we will. If we need to extend just a little, hopefully not, then I hope we are open for that as well. Okay. Okay, let's begin with some introductions. May I see if there are any new parents or whose children are varsity players for the first time. Do we have any? Okay, we have a good number. So, allow me to introduce to you the members of the athletics office. Our office is on the ground floor of the sports center. I am the officer in charge of athletics office, and my name is Amy Apolinario. And I see that some of my former students are actually active parents now. So there you are, giving away my age. So, with me are first, Sister Joselito Emuta. Please join me on stage. Coach Jojo. He is the assistant to the athletics coordinator. Our ever reliable Miss Jane Alcovili. She's there at the back. We also have Coach Billy Laluz, our staff and coach of one of our football teams. Our lifeguard, Mr. Alfredo Jaco. Coach Billy is with the swimming team. They have an event at the pool area. And of course, our strength and conditioning coach, Mr. Genaro Sabine. Okay, he's not around at the moment. Okay. So here we are your staff from the athletics office. But I'd also like you to meet the coaches in person, so you will see them, no? Not only the coaches of your son, but it would be nice for the other parents to see also the coaches of the other teams. Before that, okay, let me just show you the thrust for this school year. It's strengthening formation and firing up passion. Aligned with Father Giles' thrust for the year, when we talk about being ignited to excel, the passion for sports, but more so strengthening formation. And this is precisely why we have this series of orientation, so that we are all on the same page when it comes to the formation of our students, your children. Okay, let me begin by introducing to you our partners in our sports program. For archery, we have a parent coordinator, Mr. Martin Tampo. Is he around? No, he's not around at the moment. But we have our archery parents over here at this side. Okay, for athletics, we have Coach Marvin Laksa. Please join. You may just upload when everybody is here. So, we'll call the coaches first. For badminton, we have Coach Jaime. We just had our orientation this morning, so everybody's here. For basketball aspirants, we have our head coach, Coach Ian, assistant coaches Ron, Rika, and Ian. Juniors team, we have Coach Willie, assisted by coaches Russell, Christian, and Matthew. Basketball developmental team 2000, Coach TY, who is also the consultant to our basketball program and assisted by Juan Carlo Colliar. Midgets team headed by Coach Howard Chang and assistant Coach Marcia. Basketball mini midgets, we have Dr. John C., who is also the head of our basketball program. He's assisted by Coach Francesco C. or Coach Scott. Basketball Basketball 2013, Coach Joe Ward and Coach Jeff. For chess, we have Coach Coach Ronnie. Dance X, we have Coach Japet and Coach Ray Percival Alvarinho, who might be the English teacher of your sons. For fencing, we have Coach Alvin Almonte. Coach Alvin, please join us. He's one of our new coaches. For football, they are actually out in competition at the moment. So we have Coach Lem Larenas, Coach Randy Halbuena. You've met Coach Billy Naluz a while back. So he's the coach of Football Aspirants Day. We have Coach Darwin Salvador, Coach Loroy, Coach Merle, Coach Ariel, Coach Lester. Okay, those are the coaches for football. And then we have a parent coordinator for golf, Mr. Dwayne Tan. Is he around? Mr. Dwayne Tan? Wala siya. Okay, for handball is actually a team that we revived this year. We had a handball team prior to the pandemic. It was a fairly new team then, but with the pandemic coming in, it was dissolved. But Mr. Kerwin Galarbe of the High School PE department helped us revive that sport. For lawn tennis, we have Coach Kaloy Austria. And we have a team also for strength and conditioning. Coach Jayo, Coach Dan, and Coach Jamel Pagdaman. For swimming, we have Coach Miguel Ibazeta, assisted by Coach JC Manalo. For table tennis, we have Coach Arlan Cabido. In Taekwondo, we have our coordinator, Miss Hiroko Borja, and our coaches, Jason Loxin and Roel Borja. Please join us on stage. Another sport, admittedly close to my heart also, is the Ultimate Frisbee team, which we also had before the pandemic. And I'm happy to introduce to you my former teammate, my former student, Coach John Rosselato. So he will be handling the Ultimate Frisbee team. We also have our volleyball coaches joining us today. Our head coach is Coach Albert Howe. He is assisted by coaches J.M. Chua, Rem Del Rosario, and Robert Chua. Okay, we also have, of course, our XBL, and we have our head coach, Dexter Uwa. Joining us also this afternoon is our coordinator for XBL, Mrs. Jenny San. Okay, there you have it, parents. This is our team for our sports program. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you, coaches. Later, towards the end of our orientation, you will get to meet them and know them more closely when we give you time to meet with them. So maybe just a little bit of review. Okay. We'd like to talk about parents as our collaborators. Okay. We are in this together, right? So you want your sons to excel in sports, we want them to excel in sports. But we have to remember that we have to be on the same page also. We are in the same school, we are part of one community, and maybe from the moment that your sons enter Xavier, you have already heard the term or the phrase, Lucia looks, correct? Parang overflowing na, no? It's because this is what we want the students to invite, to let their light shine. But this is actually twofold. even for us coordinators and you as parents, because number one, Lucia knows to let their light shine means to nurse the light in our students. As parents, you want to nurse the light in your sons. Our coaches, they want to nurse the light in their players. But also, it is teaching and forming our students to be a light to others. So even if, of course, when you're playing a sport, your goal, you want to win, right? At all costs, you want to win. But it doesn't mean that your opponent is an enemy, right? At the end of the game, the challenge is to still be a light to that other team. So this is where formation comes in. We want to see them living and working as one Christian community with that guide or using Lucia Cruz as a guide. So where is the athletics in the bigger scheme of things? If you look at the units, high school and grade school, there is an assistant principal for academics, an assistant principal for formation. And of course, you have two principals. Where does the athletics come in? Okay? Everything in school is expected to contribute to forming the students into becoming persons for others. So, if it were an equation, the athletics program, the athletics office is part of that equation, wherein the solution or the end result is forming persons for others, persons fully alive, endowed with a passion for justice and the skills for development. And this is where our partnership comes in. Okay, of course, your sons went through a tryout. They were screened, there were things to meet so that they will be part of the team. Okay, and we want them to stay in the team. We want them to be excellent in their sport. And we can only do that if we partner with you. Because being in the varsity team doesn't mean that it's a separate entity, right? So they remain to be part of the high school. They remain to be part of the grade school, even as they play their sport. So, more or less, what we'll discuss today is how we can help each other, okay, in the formation of your sons. There are academic requirements, and these are things that I just want to walk you through. Many of you probably are familiar with this, but I guess there's no harm in reviewing them. Okay? So in general, we want our athletes to be of good academic standing. Anyway, we want our boys to be well-rounded. You want your kids to be well-rounded, right? So we want them to do well in academics and at the same time, do well in sports. However, in grade school, if somebody is placed on AWS or APS, they may only be allowed to train, but not compete. Can anyone recall what AWS means? Or APS means? The W stands for, I already heard the word, warning. Okay, academic warning status. Okay? Because they're in their very formative years, grade school, academic warning status pa lang, not allowed to compete anymore. But the school understands that being in sports, you cannot just simply stop and then expect the boy to do well again. So training may continue, but not the competition. In high school, if you are on AWS, you may still be allowed to play. But once you get APS, then you will not be allowed to compete. You can still train, but not compete. This will allow the students to have more time to focus on their studies. Once the status is lifted, then they can resume their participation. So it's not only academics, but also discipline. Okay? If you're good in academics, we expect you to be well in school. So in grade school, this is a little bit different from high school. In grade school, there's what we call first, second, and final disciplinary warning. Diba, pag pinagalitan mo yung bata, hindi naman, please ka agad or status ka agad. But if it's grave enough, warning ha, first warning. Pero medyo kailangan pa ng follow, second, final. But whichever warning status, they will not be allowed to compete unless they get the explicit approval of the principal. Siyempre, they will be evaluated. Maybe in the first 3 weeks, we see improvement. The parents see improvement. So they will now request Ms. Jane, can you allow my boy to play even if he is on first disciplinary warning? As long as our office gets that approval, that you will submit us and the principal will submit to us, then we will allow your sons to play. For high school, it's a little different because if they are on warning status, they will still be allowed to play and compete. W, ha? EW. But the moment that it becomes a DPS, which is more serious because that's the actual probation, then they will not be allowed to play. Okay. Normally, there will be some kind of evaluation after maybe 50 days of being on probation, after which there will be an evaluation by the teachers. This year, we will involve the coaches because we want to strengthen formation. It can't just be on one side. We also look after them. That will also give us an idea if the coaches will give very good recommendations because he behaves well during training, very cooperative, listens to the coach. And then we see with his teachers, does not pay attention, does not follow. So you see the two sides of the students. So in that way, we can help him better. But maybe if he listens more to his coach, the coach can guide him closely. If he listens more to his teachers, then that may be a way for him to be a better athlete also. So, but either way, be it a DWS or a DPS, they may still train with the team. Okay, next, on attendance. Some boys, they get sick, maybe cold, tummy ache, headache, foot ache. So they will be missing a training day once. So they will, there's an excuse there. But if it's a little bit more concerning, like if he was hospitalized or he was ill for a longer time, we would request that a medical certificate explicitly saying that he is fit to go back to training may be given to us. Okay? So that we also have your pediatrician's clearance that he is strong enough to go through his varsity training. And just like in school, if the absence is foreseen, we hope that the parents will also inform the coach ahead of time. Okay? The same manner, usually we join competitions and we know the competition schedule ahead of time. In general, bihira naman siguro yung someone will call you on the evening and tell you tomorrow you need to play. Diba? Parang that will rarely happen. So please let us know. Ideally, we don't want to miss any class day. But if we have to, that's where we need your cooperation so that we will know ahead of time. Because the process is, we will have to endorse and seek the permission of the high school principal or the grade school principal on your behalf also. Especially if it's an absence that will require a leave of absence. Medyo mahaba. Maybe 4 days that they will compete and all that. So, when we plan our games, we're always in close coordination with our coaches. We try to make as much as possible be absent minimally, very minimally, as much as possible. Okay? So, there are normally 3 outcomes for a leave of absence. And when we speak of a leave of absence, sorry for the ones who have been here, I have to review because there are new parents. If we talk about a leave of absence, this is missing class for 3 days or more. 3 days or more. Anything below that, like 1 day, 2 days, excuse letter will do. Okay? The leave of absence can have 3 outcomes. 1, excuse. Yeah, excuse. So that means the boy can seek for extra encounter. He can make up for the things that he missed when he was absent. And he will be given a chance to make up for formative or summative assessments. If it is unexcused, yan yung ayaw natin. Kasi unexcused means you will have to catch up on your own. No extra encounter, no make-up test. If you miss anything, you will get an F. Kasi unexcused. But there's also a middle ground, diba? Very, very gesture to eh. Hindi hard on stone palagi. Not hard in stone. So, it's unexcused, but sometimes can be given consideration. In the high school, the consideration can be, okay, sige, we will give you a chance to submit the PT that you missed because you were abroad, but your grade will be 1 notch lower. So you still have to do well, because if you pass a so-so project, mediocre, worthy of a C, you will just get a D. So why does you do very well, an A+ project and still get a D? Because it is unexcused with consideration. For the grade school, it can be another thing, but it will depend on how the principal will, what the principal will allow. Okay, so I mentioned this already. Submit it in advance. Okay, we're talking about absences related to sports. So absences related to sports, although in general, it's still better to submit really ahead of time for foreseen absences like competitions. Okay, so that the people concerned will have enough time to prepare also for your son's absence. Still, on attendance, if a student is absent for the day, kasi he was sick, he was not able to attend to his classes, he's also not allowed to come and train in the afternoon. I hope that makes sense. He was sick, di ba? Better to rest at home. Whether online or face-to-face, because sometimes a student will miss his online classes, not feeling well, tapos 100% in the afternoon to train. So, sick, rest at home. 3 or more unexcused absences may mean being dropped from the roster. But we don't see this happening often. Kasi we're talking about unexcused. I'm pretty sure, in general, we send our sons to competitions on school days that are sanctioned by the school. So, who would worry about this? Only those who might be habitually absent for no reason. Or all of a sudden will not appear. And then the coach will just be left there wondering what happened to this kid. Kung di ba siya tawagan, so the coach will have to call and check. Is he coming? Is he not? So, ito naman has to do with cancellation classes if it's due to bad weather. Due to bad weather, whether NCR, city, or school, as long as it's bad weather, canceled na ang training. Maybe but just maybe, if it's a false alarm na, diba, it usually happens, walang pasok pero maganda yung weather, maybe. But as a general rule, if there's cancellation due to bad weather, we don't have training, we don't have after-school program. If there is any chance na, bakit last time parang training, but case-to-case basis. Okay? So, please just inform the coaches, this is our request to them, to inform us if there are changes in schedule. Okay, we have emergency responders when your sons are training, and if the infirmary is open on extended hours until 7 p.m. kasi that's the end of varsity training on weekdays, and it's open on Saturdays also from 8 to 12. Okay, ito important po. In case of emergency or any injury, please report as soon as possible. And we discussed this with the coaches already. For filing of insurance, yung crucial dito in 30 days, you have to make the claim within 30 days. And just coordinate with the infirmary and they will tell you, give you the form, tell you which requirements are needed. If, for example, hopefully we will not have so many, if a boy is taken to the ER, either just to make sure, and you incur expenses of course, make sure that you keep the original receipt and whatever documents are given to you because you will need the original copies for your claim. Again, crucial, 30 days from the incident. Okay po? So I already mentioned the medical clearance. So the coaches, if it happens during training or a game, will inform the office. But if the incident we're talking about is not necessarily an injury, but it is disciplinary in nature, we shall also be informed, and then it will be the concerned ODS who will take care of the formal investigation. This one is quite familiar to you already. In case your sons are enrolled, let's say, for tutoring in between the periods of his dismissal and his training, you will have to seek permission from the athletics office so that he may be allowed to re-enter. Otherwise, if your sons, for example, leave and you forgot to submit his name to us, he will not be allowed to come back. Okay? Kasi sometimes it's not a blanket permission, but maybe there's a doctor's appointment at 3 o'clock, but his training is at 4. So, yeah. Dual sports, while we have a number or some students who engage in 2 sports, we still need your help in helping your sons manage their time. Okay, if they are members of 2 varsity teams, they have to make sure that, of course, they're strong enough to play for those 2 teams, probably prioritize also, and make sure that the training schedule has no conflict. But maybe just a reminder also for the high school parents. May I see the hands of the high school parents? Senior high school. Senior high school parents, grade 11 and 12, okay. Because these boys are preparing for college application, they really want to have several activities there in their CVs or their resume. We appreciate that they express all these interests, but please help us make sure that they don't have too much on their plate. Because chances are, if there's too many, he's member of this and that, committee here, club there, that's wonderful if he can manage his time. But if every now and then, the boy will go to his coach saying, Coach, I cannot attend training because I'm attending this other thing. If it's just once, twice, okay. But if it's every time, because there's too much to attend, then maybe we should help our sons in reviewing his schedule. Because on top of those things, there's academics also. Okay, good luck pala dun sa mga magugugkat next weekend. I hope your boys are ready. Okay? We understand that some athletes are also members of other clubs or maybe play for other teams. We cannot restrict you, of course, but maybe our request is at least inform the coach that he is also, part of this other team but the expectation, of course, is that if there are any inter-school competitions, syempre they should play for Xavier, right? That they will prioritize Xavier. I also understand the concern of the coaches because if they don't play with us, tapos na-injure siya elsewhere, automatically he cannot play for our team anymore. So yun lang, parents. If you so decide to have your kids be trained by another coach or in another team, please just coordinate with their coaches. So they know. Kasi lang po, baka rin maging mahirap for the child, especially if the training that he goes through ay iba yung school of thought ng outside coach niya. Tapos iba rin yung training niya sa school. So that's something to think about. Basta ang hope namin is that the boys and their parents are committed to Xavier. Next, some of these I also presented to your sons during their orientation. Athletes are generally not allowed to play without the coach. Pero syempre, pag nandiyan yung basketball court, tapos hawak yung bola niya, ang hirap na gusto ko siyang i-shoot di ba? Mahirap siya. So, in general, again, the athletics staff, with the help of the security guards, will ask the boys after dismissal to go down and go to the fetching area. Kasi when we say dismiss at 2:30, nandun na kayo di ba? Or their fetchers are there. So we don't want you to be waiting. We will ask them to go down. So for our varsity players, we ask them to change into their training uniform so that the guards can easily identify them as varsity waiting for their coach. If it's in the cement court, we can easily monitor. But for those who train, let's say, sa badminton court or sa sports center, our recommendation is for them to just stay at the canteen or the LRC until their coach is present. Or at least if there's a security guard. Because we don't want to leave them unattended. So we want an adult to be there every time they are waiting for the coach. So belongings, I think, hindi lang siya pang grade school unfortunately. Kahit high school boys, they tend to leave their things. So last Thursday, we had the orientation for high school. Diba? First, sabi Miss Apple, okay, step 1, keep your iPads. Iba nilagay sa bag, iba nilagay sa ilalim ng silya. Orientation. After orientation, okay, let's leave in an orderly fashion. While they're leaving, you will see that the iPads are under the chair. So, hindi lang sa grade school nawawala. Yung mga grade school naman, cute, naiwan yung lunchbox. So, after we dismiss them, nagtatakuan pabalik yung iba, Shirley, did you see my lunchbox? Yan. So, we want them to be more responsible. And we also underscore to the students that they are not allowed to bring smartphones. So, ito, we will also request your help because some of them, they will say, I didn't know, my mom placed it in my bag so she can call me. Or she said, parang for special reasons, I think you can approach the principal's office. If you really need your son to bring such kind of gadget. Okay, during training, pretty much like if there's a class, they're expected to be in the classroom. So if your son is a football player, football training, nasa field siya. Diba? We don't want to be surprised na nadulas siya in another venue when he's supposed to be at the field. So our instructions to the students is, if you will have to leave the training venue to go to the bathroom or get water, to always tell your coach. Even if you need to go to the infirmary, and report back when you're done with your business.